Take back your soul. This is another transmission from Mahadeva here at ThunderWizard.com headquarters, where you find the world's only unified spirit. Hello YouTube, this is Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard, and I am answering viewer questions again. So, if you have a question for me, Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard, you can write your question in any of the video comments sections, and if I like the question, I will respond to it. Also, remember, I've just started a new channel called Mahadeva Speaks. You can go look for it on YouTube. Please go there. Please subscribe, because I'd really like to get that channel up and running as well. And of course, don't forget about the other links here: thunderwizard.com, courses.thunderwizard.com, maoshan.thunderwizard.com. Okay, so today I'm going to answer the question, can human beings sell their souls? This was a very interesting question that came in the comments of the channel. Somebody says, "Hi, I have a question. Can someone sell their soul?" They go on to say, "I saw your video saying that a human can become a demon. I think I have become one. My question is, does a demon have a soul? Also, I'm watching your video on hell. Let's say there's no such thing as burning hell for eternity, that where demons do live?" I don't understand that question. Also, if a being can ascend or descend, can negative aliens, reptilians, or even demons decide to better themselves and ascend, or are they stuck to be like that forever? Will they be destroyed one day or just leave this earth once humanity awakens? That's a lot of questions. To answer your first question, can human beings sell their soul? Meaning, can you give your soul away? So let's examine that for a second. That question assumes that you are separated, that your identity is somehow separate from your soul. That's sort of like you're walking around and you're who you are, and then you have this thing like a battery. You know, that's like saying, I'm going to, you know, like Iron Man's going to pull the battery out of his chest and give it to somebody. Can you sell your soul? Well, if you gave your soul away, you would die. The thing that keeps your body going is your soul. If you're walking around in a human body, breathing, you are connected to your soul. So this is a misunderstanding. It's saddening to hear, because it means that your experience is that you feel disconnected from yourself. That's not uncommon. A lot of people have that to some degree or other. And so that's my first response, is that saddens me to hear you feel so disconnected from your soul that you think that you've lost it, that it's no longer part of you. So that phrase of selling your soul, what that really means is when you give away your integrity, you know, and then you walk around feeling horrible because you're not living up to your own integrity for yourself. How do we give away? Like the term sell your soul is usually when somebody sells out for money. When they want money, but they have to do something that they know is wrong or evil or immoral or hurts them. You know, they have to lie, they have to steal, they have to, you know, make millions of dollars, but by doing so they'll end up defrauding innocent people. This is selling your soul. It's a metaphor for acting against your own internal code of what you believe to be true, out of fear or greed, which is another form of fear. So you say, can someone sell their soul? You can't get rid of your soul. You can't do it. You are a soul. You are a soul. If you have consciousness, you are a soul. If your soul were to leave your body would die. Period. End of story. So no, you can't sell your soul. The question is, what has given you the feeling that you don't have one? That's the sad part. You know, what is it that, you know, To me, here's my first response. This is somebody who's been through a lot of trauma, a lot of psychological trauma. I'm willing to bet, I don't know you, I'm making an educated guess here, but I'm willing to bet that you suffered a lot of trauma as a child. You weren't loved, you weren't seen, you were probably shamed out of your feelings, all kinds of negative things like that. I'm looking at here and you have a picture of a beautiful little white kitty cat. Somebody who's a demon does not put roses next to their name with a little picture of a white kitty cat, so because then the next part of what you say is, I saw your video saying that a human can become a demon. I think I have become one. So let me explain to you what I mean by that. So human beings, so if you're listening, can you just accept the fact that you are a soul? You'll always be a soul. You'll be an eternal soul. I guarantee you when you leave this life, you're not going to go to hell. You're not going to be punished. You are a soul. You're just in pain and you're confused. And those are all normal human things and it's okay. I'm sorry you're going through that. It does sound pretty deeply rooted, but there is hope and you can heal. So you say, I saw your video saying that a human can become a demon. I think I have become one. You have not become a demon. So let me be clear about what that means. So we have, as human beings, we are a soul. As I said, the soul is what keeps your body alive. Without the soul, your body will die. So if you're alive, you're walking around, you have a soul. The whole metaphor of zombies, the reason why zombies are so frightening is because they seem to be humans without any soul, without any consciousness. They're just pure, pure hunger and drives and, filled with aggression and hunger that they can't get rid of. This is a fear we have. You are experiencing that fear, a fear that we will lose our humanity and just be completely consumed by our pain and our impulses and our desires. And when we are afraid also that other people, narcissistic people who have no empathy, who, just see us as sources of food. This is what this is. This is a metaphor for our fear of, number one, losing our connection to ourself, like you're saying, and fear that we will be abused by other people who have no empathy. That's why these movies are so frightening. Vampires, zombies, all the same thing. So we as human beings, we are made up of three selves. We have our higher self, which is the part of us that communicates with us and guides us. That's what Mahadeva is for me. When you go to Mahadeva Speaks, on that channel on YouTube, which please go and subscribe, what you're doing is you're hearing me channel my higher self. Mahadeva is my higher self. It's me. It's the highest form of me. I believe it is my future self living in an enlightened state, but it's my higher self. And then you have yourself, which is your soul. You are a soul. And then you have this personality, which is, I'm pointing to my navel center now. Your navel center has your personality, your psyche. My name is so-and-so, I lived here, my parents did this, I believe in that, I like this, I don't like that, I'm good at this, I'm bad at that. Whatever your emotional, psychological identity is as a physical human being, that is your lower self. So, can your lower self turn into a demon? Yes. That's what I mean by that. Your soul will always be a soul. Your soul is watching this experience that you're having. And if you get disconnected from yourself, then you can operate from fear. You can operate from your negative programming as a child. You can operate from your greed, your fear, all that kind of stuff. You can do really destructive things. Now, what happens when we die is our soul does not stay here on earth. It stays for a short period of time, I think up to 40 days, and it watches what's happening and it lets go of its earthly life. That's why in many cultures, whenever somebody dies, there's a 40-day period of mourning. And people will this is why people have wakes, they have celebrations. This is a celebration. The soul can show up and enjoy the celebration of their life. Funerals are like that. We have funerals so that the soul can show up and go, what? Oh, I'm dead? Oh, I have to let go of this life? And so, when you spend those 40 days in mourning, not only do you heal, but when you light candles for them and you talk to them and you go over, if there's any last words, anything that you need to work out with them, you do that. You go to the gravesite, you talk to them. For those 40 days, it allows you to let go and it allows them to let go. So then the soul leaves and goes back to wherever. Sometimes the soul doesn't hang around at all. If a soul is more advanced, once it leaves the body, it goes, oh, I'm out of this body. Okay, I'm out of here. And it'll just go straight to wherever that soul is going to go for its whatever it's going to do next. And but your psyche is an earth spirit. So your identity, your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, your all this, the personality that is you, that is your lower self, and it's an earth spirit. So when you die, and if you've lived a life where you have some connection between your three selves, you don't have to be perfect or enlightened, but if there's some cohesion between the three selves when you die, and you die relatively comfortable, then what happens is that your lower self gets disconnected, the three selves disconnect, and the lower self goes back into the earth. And sometimes it wanders around for a while it's letting go of that personality that it's created or that you've created with it. It lets go of that, and then it goes back into the earth. And then it becomes an earth spirit. So it can live in a tree or a rock. But then it eventually, I believe, this is my personal belief, it eventually will come back as a lower self. And it's trying to evolve to become a soul. It'll eventually become a human soul, and it'll have an opportunity to come and live, as a human soul. But if you have lived a disconnected life, if you've acted out of greed, out of fear, out of destructiveness, then your three selves are going to get disconnected. This is basically what mental illness is, in my opinion. This is what happens with, people who are really evil and destructive, or people who really hate themselves and in a lot of pain. Your three selves will get kind of warped and disconnected, and you won't feel very happy. It's a very painful, uncomfortable place to be. This is one of the things that we do when we do spiritual disciplines. We align the three selves. So all of the stuff that that I'm sharing with you, whether it's on the free channel or anywhere, these things help your three selves align, which is a good thing. So when I say that you can become a demon, it means that if you're filled with unresolved anger, unresolved pain, and that happens when you are guilted, you are shamed out of your feelings, and you shove them down and you don't acknowledge your pain. And the best way to acknowledge your pain is to go after what you truly want. But running away from your pain, an extreme example would be drug addiction. If you're taking drugs, you're trying to run away from your pain, that's going to separate your three selves. If you're addicted to destructive things, if you're hurtful to other people, angry, frightened, if you live your life based on these things, this can have the effect of separating all of your three selves. And then when that person dies, the soul will go back to where souls go. But the lower self, if it's angry, if it hates itself, and it's unresolved, it can get squished out on the world and it can be a demon. So that's what I believe demons are. They're not angels that have fallen. They're human personalities that when the person died, they did not have a lot of self-awareness. They were full of a lot of anger, a lot of fear. And so that part of themselves gets squeezed out onto the earthly plane and runs around trying to act out all that stuff. And after a while, it will run out of steam and it will become an earth spirit again. So you can't become a demon. Your soul cannot become a demon. You cannot get rid of your soul. It saddens me to hear you talk like that. I wish I could help you, but you need, at the very least, to be doing some meditative work to, love yourself and bring yourself back into a state of unity. And this fear you have of hell, don't worry about it. There isn't a hell for demons. It doesn't exist. Demons are, as I said, they're earth spirits, and they eventually run out of steam and they go back into the earth. And you are not one of those. You are a soul. So I guarantee you that when you die, your soul will, if it's had a lot of pain and a lot of unresolved issues, you will go to a place of healing, which is called the underworld. That's not the same as hell. You will go to a place called the underworld, and in that place you will resolve your issues, and then you'll have an opportunity, if you choose to come back and become a human again, and again follow that path of discipline, spiritual practice to keep yourself whole. But you're asking me, can demons and reptilians decide to better themselves, etc., etc.? You're asking me that question because you think you're a demon, and you're not. But the answer to your question is that every conscious being can choose to better themselves. There is no such thing as, the Christian hell where God says, I won't have anything to do with you. I'm separated from you. You will live in eternity in hell and suffering forever. That doesn't exist. Every single being can choose to better themselves and can choose to become more enlightened and more aware. And you can as well. So if you're sitting there listening to me thinking that you have destroyed yourself, you've sold your soul, you're evil, that's just not true. You're in a lot of pain. You're in a lot of confusion. You, for whatever reason, have taken actions to run away from your feelings. You haven't acknowledged your very real human emotions of pain, sadness, confusion, anger, trauma. And you can choose to feel those feelings and heal. You're probably going to need some help. So I would definitely suggest that you reach out and try and find some counseling. Find a psychologist, a therapist, a mentor, a teacher, spiritual counseling, and definitely get involved in some meditative work. You can do the Qigong on this channel, the free meditations. Definitely do the Hul breath. So if you go on the channel and look for H-U-U-L breath, you can type it in anywhere and it will come up. Do that practice. That will help align the three selves. It will help you to heal yourself and get you back in touch with your soul again, because your soul is nothing but love and bliss. And if you can connect to that, then you can start allowing the true light of yourself and the light of love come into your physical body and the rest of your three selves. But you have nothing to worry about. You still are a soul. You haven't sold it. You're not a demon. You are going to be, eventually you will be okay. Maybe, I don't know what will happen to you in this life, to what extent you seek out help and seek to heal yourself. That's completely up to you. But we will all achieve enlightenment. We will all achieve enlightenment somewhere. So I hope that's helpful for you. Thank you for the question. And again, if you want the power to be able to connect directly to the soul in a very powerful way, I suggest going to thunderwizard.com and subscribing to the Warrior 90-Day Challenge lightning qigong. We're coming to the first. Is this the first of the month? Where are we? Yeah, it's in a couple of days. It's going to be April 1st. So it's always good to sign up at the first of the month. And go ahead and sign up for that. And simply scroll down to the bottom, do the first video of the 90-day lightning qigong, and just simply press play and do the practices with me. You will feel a power. You will have to deal with your emotions, but by working through them and purifying them, you will become closer and closer to the conscious experience of your soul, and achieving health, prosperity, and success, which is what I wish for not only myself, but for all of you. So enjoy that. I wish you all the best, and I will see you all very soon.